Hey gang, this is Ian with Humbucker Soup, and today we're going to look at a couple of ways that we can emulate a pedal steel with the electric guitar. We're going to look at some tonal options and some voicings that we can use to evoke that sound if we want to call up the sound of a pedal steel or if we want to occupy a similar space in a mix. Let's get started. So the trademark of pedal steel is movement. That movement could be considered both harmonic and dynamic. The harmonic movement consists of the slide adjusting the pitch, but also the complex tuning that we hear in pedal steel, as well as the pedals themselves adjusting the pitch while being played. Now the dynamic movement is often affected also by the slide, but also with tone and volume manipulation. There's often a long legato note that's created by using reverbs and delays with the use of a volume pedal. Let's start by looking at some of the harmonic variations that we can use to evoke that sound. This is a phrase that we can use to go from a 5 chord to a 1 chord. What we're doing here is we're playing a dominant 7 chord and resolving it to a 1 with a 6 in it. So this is effectively an E7 with a 5 in the bass. That's a 5, flat 7, 1, and then we're moving to an A6 with a 5, a 6, and a 1. And we're moving it hybrid picking style, a half step up staccato. This is a great way to do a turnaround from the 5 to the 1. The next type of movement we're going to look at is by moving the third, which is a common technique in country and as well as pedal steel. So there's a couple ways we're going to do this. First thing we're going to do is bend the note behind the bridge, or in the case of a Fender guitar, behind the nut. So I'm going to do a 2, a 5, and a 1. That's a B, E, and A. But I'm going to take that B and I'm going to bend it up to a C sharp to create a third. This works over any chord. And this can be done very effectively with the unwound strings. So we'll take a B and an F sharp, and that F sharp is going to move to the third of this E. What we're doing there is we're moving that third up as if it's being played by the pedal. Now, let's do the same thing, but we're going to use our fretting hand to get that movement. What we're playing is an E chord, and we're playing with that 2 up to a third, back down to a 1, using hybrid picking to get this 5 and the 1 on top. And we're going to incorporate a little dynamic movement now. I'm going to take my tone knob all the way down, and I'm going to open it as I do that riff. What we're doing is controlling that movement both harmonically and dynamically. Now let's tune this guitar up a half step to a G sharp. Now the G is now a G sharp, and we're getting a major triad on the open 3 strings. So that's an E chord with a third on the bottom. This is a very convenient chord for this purpose because we can move it all around the fretboard and get that movement that we've heard in pedal steel. It's also a very convenient way to play slide because these 3 strings are unaffected by the other strings. Now we can incorporate some delay and start to get more dynamic movement. I've got a quarter note delay that's set fairly long, and I've got it after a volume pedal, which allows me to control the swell of a note. I can do single notes or I can do double notes. And really the delay should be as long as needed to create the sustain, but you don't want to hear the repeats themselves. You just want to hear the sustained notes. So by working with the volume pedal, you can really swell into that note. And the slide can be used as little or as long of an interval as you want. You can start by playing up a 5th, or as little as a half step. So these are just a few ways to invoke the dynamic and harmonic movement that we hear in pedal steel. It's fun to try different ways of using this and applying it to different types of music with distortion or fuzz or any kind of other effects we might think are fun. So thanks for practicing with us. Keep watching and we'll see you next time.